Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Thunder and Lightning. Lightning is with me tonight. This is my third show this week on the channel. Hopefully everybody's been enjoying the first two shows. I want to thank Justin again for coming on Monday night, and of course Sunday Sauce on Sunday. And then I did a quick 5 minute video because Rio sent me a Nick Wright video from Fox Sports One, which was kind of crazy. We could touch that later. But Nikki, what's going
Mhm.
on? We basically survived the first preseason game. We're recording during the end of the game. Obviously, everybody who's going to be making the team is probably already off the field. Maybe other than Turbo Miller, he might be a bubble guy. We'll get into that later. But yes, currently the Giants are leading 14-3. It was the Eric Gray show. He's been a name that everybody's been like not discrediting, but like forgetting that he's actually a decent running back. And I think mostly that has to do with him last year being stuck at the punt return instead of never really being able to do that. So I think a lot of fans have that bad taste in his mouth. But today he had a 49. He had basically a 50-yard touchdown with a nice cutback, and then he had a 1 yard touchdown. So he got all the scoring today. So Nick, what's up?
Just preseason football is here, and we're inching closer to the regular season.
Yeah,
Thank God.
thank
Thank God.
God.
It's
Yeah,
brutal.
yeah,
It's brutal to watch. I mean, I don't know what was more brutal, like watching preseason football or all those fans at MetLife sitting in this pouring rain
yeah. No,
for a preseason game.
yeah, I'm glad I got rid of my tickets last minute yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was like, take them. Whoever asks for them first, just take them. Because I
Do
knew
you
the
think
weather.
those people went? Whoever took them?
Um,
Or do you think they were like, I'm not sitting in the pouring rain?
I think the person that took them went and then probably left at halftime. They definitely
Okay.
didn't. They definitely didn't sit in my seats because, as you can see, the whole lower bowl was definitely empty. So I doubt that person actually made it to my seats, which is obviously smart move. Um,
300s, right?
yeah,
348.
yeah, 348. So yeah, the nosebleeds. But I love the view because you're able to see everything in the bigger game, and that's all I can afford right now. But maybe when I get bigger, I can move down to the 200s because I think that's probably where my favorite view is. So no,
Interesting.
I think the couple of takeaways I had watching this game was I think Drew Lock is still uncomfortable with the playbook. Um, and that was a given. I think he didn't really feel the pocket. I think the first sack on Azudu was more on him than Azudu. I think Azudu could have probably been a little bit more aggressive after the initial block, personally, but I think that sack was on Luck for not feeling the pocket and being able to move along. Did you see his interception? I think that was completely forced as well. Um,
Yep.
I'm not really nervous about it, but when Tommy DeVito came in, you can just tell that
You were
Tom.
happy. You were cheesing over there. You
No,
were happy.
I definitely wasn't
You were
cheesing.
happy. Did
I
you
was,
get
I
your
was,
jersey out? Did you? I know you don't have it on, but did you get your jersey out and like hold it and hug it for a little bit? Like, oh, he's back. My boy's
yeah,
back.
my boy's back for now. No, all jokes aside, I didn't. But I
Joke.
did the emoji, and that was about it. But you can
You
tell
love that kid. You love that
I
kid.
do because he's a good story, and obviously he has a big hill to climb to make the roster again. But I'm just gonna enjoy. He's gonna play hard, and if he makes the team, he makes the team. If he goes someplace else, more power to him, and good luck. There's nothing really more to say about that. I just liked how more comfortable he looked. He had that one nice touch pass to Gray that started that drive. The first touchdown drive was a 91-yard drive. So you got to give credit there. Um, he looked more composed. And I'm excited for him. Let's see what he does against the Texans next week and then the Jets. So he's going to be getting a lot of playing time. I heard them talk during the game that Daniel might get a couple of drives next week. So that's going to be interesting to see how he's able to actually take a hit Obviously, that's the first step of seeing like, all right, he's got his first hit out of the way. Let's see how he handles it. So
What do you think about all these fans who said Drew Lock is better than Daniel Jones? What do you think they're saying tonight?
I think they're saying what I'm saying. That's my personal opinion on that. Uh, I've been saying it the last couple of weeks. I'm like, we got to see what Drew Lock gets comfortable with the playbook, as you can see, and then let's also see him play with the first offensive line. I would assume that would be a little bit better. But yeah, you can tell he was processing the game plan a little bit slower than you normally see Drew Lock play. He's usually an all or nothing type of guy, and you saw that with the interception tonight. So
Mm-hmm. I
I
mean, people are like really like ragging on Drew Lock right now, and it's
really,
like, yeah. And it's, to me, like, I feel like it's just like it's the first preseason game and it's been pouring rain, and I know
mm-hmm.
these are professional athletes and they play in
Right.
these conditions, but I'm just like, I feel like it's just so like over dramatic, and like,
Oh, 100%,
like you don't need to
100%.
like be, I mean, just completely ragging on this kid. I mean, he threw an interception in a fucking preseason game. Like, I just think some of these people need to like, they need to go outside in the pouring rain and maybe get some fresh air or touch some grass on the next like nice day, because like,
Right,
I think some of these people got to get off social media. I mean, if you're this upset
right,
about Drew Lock playing for the first time with the Giants in a preseason game and he threw an interception, I mean, what are they going to be like in season? It's going to be
right.
unbearable.
It's going to be very unbearable. That's why I try to stay off Twitter and socials during games, because it's just like it's like enough. Just watch the game, see what happens, and you don't have to react to every single play of every single game.
Oh, what they do. What did you think about the kickoff?
Um, the kickoff was interesting. I texted one of my friends, if you game plan the kickoff perfectly and you can like be creative with the blocking scheme, you
Mm-hmm.
can definitely see a little bit more kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we've been watching the game for over 25 years, so we're so programmed to the regular kickoff. So that in itself is going to take a minute. But the first kickoff we had, granted, it was a penalty because of we held. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly. Uh, we got to the 35-yard line. So it's going to be interesting. I think the returners have to take advantage of the defense being stagnant and obviously not getting that full steam ahead to make the tackle. So it's going to be interesting to see when you see the teams get used to the new rule, how they can implement some trick plays or something like that, and they can figure out reading the holes better, because I think it's new for everyone. So it's going to be interesting to see. What do you think?
Look like some flag football type shit.
It definitely 100% is, but for I don't know if I love it or hate it. I'm indifferent about it right now. I have to see
I think
more
we have to see it in season. I just,
because
I
we
feel
only
like you just take
yeah.
preseason like with a grain of salt. I mean,
Not only
how
that, we
much
only
on a
saw it
scale of
twice.
1 to 10? How much do you care about these games?
I don't. I'm more of
Because
like a
it seems
5.
like you care like a lot.
I'm all right. So what? It's okay. I care because I want to see the depth of the team, and like if like for example last season, like who would have thought in a million years Tommy DeVito was going to be starting 6 games for us last year? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I like to get prepared on what's on our roster and everything else like that. Do I like scream at the TV? No, I'm like, oh okay,
Okay.
damn. I definitely don't. I the only
Screamed when your boy DeVito came out. I know that.
yes, sure. So the only time I made a comment was the hurting interception that turned into a fumble. Uh, it was a slight damn it, but I didn't like break anything or do anything like I
Do you
would do.
normally break stuff? Is that what
No,
you're
I
saying?
haven't broken anything in like 15, 20 years, but like
What was the last thing you broke watching a Giants game?
I might have to be. It probably. I'm trying to think. It would probably be Super Bowl 42 when I broke a window at halftime.
You broke a window?
Yeah, no, yeah. So I broke a window.
Why? How? At your
So
house?
no, I was at my college dorm. So as you know how passionate I am, no
Mm-hmm.
one thought the Giants were gonna win. So they were like, "Oh, let's just get Dan a bottle of Evan Williams whiskey." So I was basically drinking that to the face the whole time. And then my friends are, of course, instigators. And my one friend that isn't a Giant fan was like, "Yo, the Giants suck. They're not going to win." And then, of course, that's when I was like, basically almost at the point of blacking out. So
Hmm.
I started screaming that we're going to win and all that other fun stuff. And at the time, in the dorm room on the top of the TV was my roommate's clock. So I like backhanded the clock through the window and it like shattered everywhere. So that was fun. I definitely had glass in my hand that night, but obviously the Super Bowl was more important.
Did you get in trouble for that, or what? Did you get fined for that, or like what
I
happened?
surprisingly didn't get fined. I don't know how we didn't. I had a roommate that was very clever and handy. So what we did was find one of the other panes of glass because it was like a double-sided window. We moved one of the other panes of glass to the other window at the end of the year. But the next day, I was trying to find glass places, how they can fix it, and no one was willing to help us, which was fine. But yeah, I like after that, I'm like, oh, we're gonna win this shit, and then I flipped the beer pong table. I was so drunk. That was
All right.
like,
Well, have you broken something like not drunk, just out of pure frustration? Like,
maybe I must have thrown a remote. Maybe like
all right.
I'm
Well,
like,
I feel like we've all done that. We've all thrown
right,
things.
or like I have like a stress foam, and like
Oh,
that's
you
about
do?
it.
You got like one of those
I
like,
used to because it's just
wow,
like
this is what I mean. You're so like you're so serious. Like you just like take it so
yeah, but
seriously.
I've
My
gotten
God.
better. I've gotten better. But
Have
to your
you? Because I've watched a few games with you and you just like sit and brood and you sit in like pissed off silence.
well, see, this is not fair. The one game you saw me was Daniel Jones literally blowing his knee out. And it was just like, all right, well, this sucks. What are we going to talk about for the rest of the season? We're not going to win another game
Food
the
takes.
rest.
That's why we came up with food takes, everybody.
Yeah, no. But yeah,
What do
it
you
was
mean? Yeah, no.
there. I'm at a 5. I'm not like screaming up and down, but I'm rooting for the guys on the second and third team to make a name for themselves. Because if they don't make it with us, I would hope to see them make it on another team
Do
and
you
stick.
really care though? Like, do you really care if like someone doesn't make this team and like I don't know, maybe like the Jags sign them? Like, do you really honestly care? Does that affect your life?
It doesn't affect my life, but I'm happy for them because they're following their dreams. So in the dream catching department, I'm rooting for them because obviously they worked their whole lives to get to this point. So I am rooting for them in that aspect of things. So
Such a
um,
nice guy.
yeah, well, it is what it is. You're wearing Giants blue or red next week, white next week. So I'm rooting for them until they're no longer on the team. Um,
And then you're rooting for them after they're no longer on the team.
yeah, because I'd like to have them have their own career. You know. What?
No, I don't know. I could care less if one of these guys doesn't make the team and then like, well, maybe they go make the Cowboys. It's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. They'll
cool.
they'll find a way to sneak on somebody's practice squad or deep into someone's like 53 for special teams. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But me personally, I enjoy watching what the depth could possibly be, and it seems like we're slowly getting those depth pieces tonight. Um, I thought our run defense looked really good. In the second half, our pass rush was there. Granted, there was 2 drives that stalled out in our goal line, but hey, that's what happens in preseason / Dan Campbell for always going for it. So that was a benefit to our benefit for them tonight. Um, I like Turbo Miller. It's going to be interesting to see how he makes the team if he even makes it. But you can tell he has that speed that like if he could get some reps on the first team offense, he can definitely be a weapon for them. But right now, how it's stacking up, obviously you got Motor, Singletary, and then you got Tracy who looks good. He started tonight. he looked decent. And then obviously Eric Gray had the night that he was definitely the player of the game. He had that long touchdown, like I mentioned before, then that small touchdown, and then that one catch from DeVito. So as of right now, he's definitely the player of the game for sure. Let's see how he continues to build on that next year, because he was a good running back. He was a good running back at Oklahoma when he got drafted last year. So I'm interested to see, because obviously I like how they have the whole running back unit being like contributing, and obviously having Saquon gone, they're the three guys are just as good as Saquon as they hope and think. So maybe that finds a way to, all right, maybe this game won't be the Tracy game. This will be a Singletary game, or they'll like pick out matchups. Would be the best way I think this could work for us in the season. What would you think about that? Like, I definitely, now the NFL game is more of a stable of running backs and a carousel of running backs. So I
Yeah,
think
like
we're
running back, it's like take a page out of the Ravens book. It's like running back by committee, right? If the
right,
matchup is there
right,
and it works in your favor, I think you take it, you know? How
yeah.
do you translate teams that do that though to fantasy? Like, would you draft any of these Giants running backs?
I personally wouldn't. I think the only guy I would personally take would be Singletary, because I know he's not that home run hitter, but he can get 5 yards a clip, 4 yards a clip, and then he might not get that wow, like, all right, he's gonna bust one for 50 yards, but at the
Right.
end of the day, he'll still have that.
He's gonna have volume.
He's gonna have the volume, and he's still gonna have the good yardage that you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um, it's going to be interesting. I wouldn't take a flyer on him yet, personally, but I could see Eric Gray could be a waiver pickup halfway through the season if there's some sort of injury and the Giants give him the ball more. And then if you're in a PPR league, the same with Tracy. Obviously, I'm not saying go pick him up like if you're going to have a draft tomorrow, but I would definitely keep an eye on all those guys, because, like I said, it's going to be a committee. It's obviously Singletary's job to keep, but I could see other guys depending on the week. And if, hey, Chris, what's going on? Thanks for checking us out. W, nice win. Yeah, I didn't even hear from you tonight. I didn't want to mess up with, like, see with a lot of my friends that are not in the area. So I didn't want to like celebrate too early or like talk about a play too early. So Chris, I'm
Okay,
glad.
you all understand it's preseason,
Well,
right?
we
I
still
mean,
care about the Giants, so it's
you
nice
can
to see.
care about it, but you're like, oh my God, I don't want to spoil like this play. Like, first of all, it's probably all over social media in 2 seconds. And second of all, it's the first preseason. It's not even like it's like the first preseason game. Like,
Yeah, but we still care. It's a fun time
yeah,
of the
but you take
year.
the caring to like, it's just, this is unreal to me. Like the level of caring about a shitty preseason game in pouring rain is crazy to me. Like, I get caring and you want to check out the depth, but like, I don't want to ruin the plays. Like, that must be
No,
some
because
boy shit. Like,
it's definitely boy shit. But honestly, it's they want to
Homer
watch the
shit.
game. If it is, it is. Like, I don't know what else to say. We enjoy preseason. You don't have to enjoy it. We take it with
No,
a
I
grain of
hate it
salt.
actually. I think it's the worst thing in the
It's a
world.
grain of salt, and it I
It's a
don't.
grain of salt, but like, you sit here and analyze the whole game.
Well, yeah, I watched the game, so I'm analyzing the whole thing. So I don't know.
We got to
Uh,
take dubs when we can get them
that too.
in the preseason.
Yeah, we're like, all right, they won. Great. We'll see what happens next week against the Texans. I don't know.
I just can't understand caring like this much about it. Like, I understand caring a little, but
Hey, Alex, what's up?
not the first game.
Yeah, was it the cleanest game of all time? Obviously not, but for what it's worth, the nice plays they made, they filled the run pretty decently. The secondary looked good when the second teams were out there. I enjoyed that from everybody, especially being the secondary's been a slop basically the whole time. So in training camp, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna take small victories. I'm not running a lap about like, oh, we're gonna make it to the playoffs and Super Bowl now. Obviously not, but I'm gonna take it for what it's worth. They looked good. No one got hurt from everything I heard so
I
far.
think that's
Obviously,
the biggest thing for me is
yes,
everybody getting out unscathed, no injuries, getting
and
ready for, game 1, week 1 is
and
really
Locke,
it.
if it was a real game, Locke would have stayed in the game. That's what Joe Shane said. So obviously, that's a plus as well.
Well, exactly. Even Joe Shane's like, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, well, he gives a fuck, but it's like, all right, he's
You
seen it
can't
all.
take a joke today. I think like
It's
there's
not about
something's
taking a
getting
joke.
lost in translation. Like you're taking this very seriously. It is one preseason game. It is the first one of the season. I made a joke, like, and I bet you deep down, like Joe Shane doesn't even really give too much of a fuck of this one.
Well,
Like
the main objective, everybody stayed healthy and they won. So good stuff. I don't know. There's not really anything lost in translation about that.
no, the fact that you can't take a joke is getting lost in translation. Like the fact that you take this really, really seriously, like really seriously.
I don't know what to tell you. But yeah,
All
no,
right,
that was
then. Well, everybody, I'm so glad that you joined us. It's been great. So, I mean, if you want to go on by yourself and keep talking about one preseason game in the pouring rain for another 10 minutes, cool.
no, I
I
think
mean,
it's done. I don't like. There's nothing really else to like
well,
talk
I don't
about.
know. It's like
Everybody
you
was
want
watching the Giant game, so everybody seems to be happy. No one got hurt. They looked
yeah, well, that's
okay.
what I said. Nobody got hurt. To me, it's an injury thing. We got to look at some of the players. I mean, I just so I don't know. I mean, like, what do you guys? I just don't understand why you would care so much about it.
Because there's more to the game than just throwing the ball to a quarterback.
I'm
I mean,
aware. I know what football is.
no,
I know
I
the
like.
game of football. I don't need to be mansplained to. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
I
Then
don't. I understand the game, but I also understand it's one preseason game. Like,
yeah, we're
and
not celebrating it.
they could have like the greatest preseason games, and I guarantee you, the minute they go
Of
play the Cowboys,
course,
they're
of
gonna
course,
blow it and they're gonna lay an egg. Like,
of course. But
of
but
course. So that's what I mean. That's what
but
I'm trying
no,
to understand. Why do you care now? And then, you're going to get, like, if they win all the preseason games, how are you going to feel in week 1? Like,
it's
you're going to feel like, okay, like
you're just missing the whole grain of salt argument that I just.
I'm not missing the grain of salt. Nobody takes this more of a grain of salt than me.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I don't know
Because
what else.
I needed to translate in season. I
But
need them to see them beat
they
the
looked
fucking
okay.
Eagles.
The depth looked okay tonight, which is a good thing.
Great. And for some reason, but Danny, we've had years like that where depth looks okay. And then we get in season, and what happens? It falls apart.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what
I
else
am
to
just
say.
the fan that has just, I feel like I've been battered, bruised, beaten. And it's like, you're going to have to show me. Like, all this is like fluff and like cool, great. Like, but you're going to have to show me. I'm going to have to see some results. Like, and then maybe next year I'll be a little more hyped for it.
We're in agreement with that. I don't understand what's missing in translation. I
No,
said a couple
I'm not
players.
missing anything in translation.
Okay.
You seem to be missing something in
No,
translation.
not at all.
Yeah, seems like it. Taking it very seriously, the fact that you can't even laugh at a joke. Like,
You got to deliver better on these jokes then, because they
no,
seem
you got to
very
not sit
serious.
here and mansplain to me.
I haven't mansplained. Like,
You
there's
have.
more to the
Actually,
game.
you've done it the entire show. You're like, well, actually, Joe Shane cares because I know he cares. I'm saying as a joke, he probably doesn't even give too much of a fuck. Like,
all right. Awesome. Anyway, that's our show tonight. The Giants looked okay. You got anything else you want to talk about?
no, I don't.
All right. Awesome.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thanks for checking us out. Like and subscribe to NL_NYG. And see you guys next time. Peace.